Hey, how's it going, guys? So this is now I believe it's day 12 of the Bottom to Top project, and I wanted to talk to you today about goal setting. I've been promising this for a minute, and I want to try to move through this as quickly as possible, so just kind of bear with me. I've got a quick outline. We'll just try to get through it. The thing that led me to this was my uncle came to town. He's been in town for the last couple days. He just left yesterday, and he came to my mother's. I'm at my mother's now. I'm in the garage now. I had some things to do here, take care of, move around and situate and whatnot. But he was here. Me and him talked for a couple hours on this Bottom to Top project, and what it was like to be homeless. This man had, in one time of his life, been homeless for the better part of 8 years. And regardless of what his parents did for him, or others, he remained that way. That's the life he wanted to live. When I asked him about it, he was very forthcoming and just said, "Hey, listen, I'll tell you straight out. My only goal every day was to get drugs and alcohol. That was my goal. I didn't want a house. I didn't want a wife. I didn't want children. I didn't want anything. I didn't want to care about anything. I just didn't want to deal with life." And he did that. He stepped away from life for the better part of 8 years. And some of the stories that he told yesterday, I would have got him on tape, except for I don't think he would have been comfortable with that at all. He's not really that type of person. But I can tell you some of them were pretty interesting to listen to. Long story short, he kind of confirmed everything that we've been saying all along in this project, that, most people in this position, they do not want to change their life. They're perfectly comfortable where they're at. They don't want to face the other aspects of life that seem to satisfy others. To them, it kind of boggles them down and makes them feel trapped, and, they just can't deal with it. Thankfully, my uncle actually came out of that. And he said, "You know what, enough's enough. I need to get off these streets. I need to get away from these people. I need to stop drinking. I need to stop using the drugs." He's now clean and sober after quite some time of using drugs and alcohol and being around people that do so. He has a place to live now. He's off the streets. He's completely changed his life. And I've got to get my hat off to him for that. I think that that's commendable, and we all have our own ideas of what we believe success is, and I believe that he truly in his heart feels like he's made a successful path, and I like that. I commend any man that's living out their potential, And I think it takes a lot of heart to get off those streets and get away from those people and change your life in that way. So I'm pretty proud of my uncle for that. Some of the things he said were like, being on the streets, he started to develop the mentality that everybody around him had his money, and that it was his job to get it back. And he would say anything to make that happen. He would convince you of anything to make that happen, all so that he could get another can of beer or some drugs, So it was pretty intense listening to some of the stuff that he said yesterday. I mean, especially knowing where, the things that I've seen over the past week and a half or so, I'm really happy I got the chance to talk with him. I'm sorry I didn't put it on tape. It just didn't work out to where it was that kind of a conversation. It was kind of like uncle-nephew time, and it just kind of unfolded before I knew it, and I didn't have my cell phone in reach, and before you knew it, we're talking about this project and stuff. So I'm proud of him. I think he's proud of me. We left on a good note. It was a good day. Now, what does that got to do with goals? I think that what he did when he finally said, "Hey, I need to get off these streets. I've done enough out here. I need to get away from these people," he mentally set a goal in his mind. He just said enough is enough. And he walked out. Now, quitting something cold turkey, walking out, some say it's not advisable, or it's really hard to do, or, I don't like to make excuses. I don't think anybody in my family really respects excuses. Nobody. I don't think anybody likes to hear somebody else's excuses. We all know when they're making excuses, but we don't like to hear them. I think it's ironic, though, that we'll dish them out so quickly for ourselves and our actions. And I think it's worth reflecting on that for a little bit, after you shut off, after the video ends and stuff. Just reflect on excuses you may have made. I know I did, and I'm not proud to say that there's been a few that it's just shocking to know that I've actually made some excuses in areas where I could have done a lot better. And I'm going to push for that. I'm happy to say that I'm going to push for that now that I know that. So, before you can transform your life and go bigger and better, you got to kind of get a grasp on where you're trying to go. And like I mentioned in a previous video, what I like to do is I like to kind of start at the end and work my way back. I like to reverse engineer. I like to say my main goal is, put that down, fill in the blank, and then reverse backward so that by the time I get to the end, I've got a blueprint on how to get to my goal. So let me show you this. This is kind of what I've been doing. I suggest doing this, pretty much to everybody. This is a daily planner. Everybody knows what they are. They're awesome pieces of equipment. If you utilize them correctly, if you stay dedicated to using them, and they can do amazing things for you. It's you doing amazing things for you through this tool. So, you can Google daily planners and how to use them. You can Google anything. And I suggest doing some research or just getting into the habit of putting one of these together every single day. Outline. What I like to do is I like to outline 3 things that I need to get done that day to work towards that week's goal. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just now really solidifying that behavior in myself. I've kind of dabbled in it, off and on, but I'm really dedicated to doing it this time because in the start of this project, I realized that how quickly it can become habit to just survive on a day-to-day basis and just get by, barely get by with just good enough. And if you don't outline goals and kind of plan out your time, manage your time and your aspirations and kind of track how you're going to get there, you're shooting with no sights. So that's what I do. My daily planner is a great tool. I would highly suggest anybody out there using one as well. Another thing, the book that I've been reading, The Pathfinder, asked me to do this, and like I told you before, I'm going to implement some of these things. Actually, I'm going to implement all of these things just to see how they work. Let me show you. This is a timeline of my life. And what I did is I went to the dollar store and I got me a roll of butcher paper or whatever it is, brown paper, wrapping paper. And I just taped it down to a table, cut me a section, and started at the beginning, and I just drew a line and put the end, and then labeled where I'm at right now, 35 years old, right, between 30, 40, 35, where I'm at right now, and the book asks to mention everything that you've done up to this point. Anything of significance, anything that's really impacted you, any character developing things that you've done up to this point, write them down. Because that's kind of you right now. That's what's developed you into the person you are. And then what you do from there is you kind of look at different increments. In this case, they wanted you to outline your increments in decades. So every 10 years, you make a little dash, a little hash mark. And you outline, 40 years, 50 years, what do you want to have accomplished by that time? And so I've been playing with it a little bit and, filling in some of the blanks. And so far, it's made me think. You know, what it does is it gets your motors up here going, and one idea leads to the other, and before you know it, you're writing little side notes. Hey, by the way, I need to accomplish this, and by the way, I need to call this person. I need to say sorry to them. I need to, you know, all these little things come to you because you're actively engaging in changing your habits. You're actively engaging in planning your future. Actively. You're not just sitting there on the couch pondering the idea of changing something, you know, while half-assed kind of watching TV, you know. This way you sit down, you think about it, you write it out. You can talk to yourself. Do what you got to do. Get it down on paper and move forward. That's kind of mapping out goals, you know. And like I said, I kind of like to work from a main goal and work backwards on what it's going to take to achieve that goal. And then that way you have a blueprint. I think it's important, and I think it works pretty well. I'm going to start implementing that, like I said, every single day. I am going to start making that a personal mission of mine. Now that I've been homeless, now that I've seen those streets, I know that I never want to go back there. I just don't want to do it. You know, it's just not the life for me. I'm better than that, in my own opinion. You know, my opinion of myself is higher than that. And so knowing where life can ultimately go if I don't take care of business, I'm going to make sure I'm taking care of business. And I'm going to have a goal for getting to the end and being successful when I arrive. So one of the other things that the book has asked for us to do is separate our what they call yeah buts. You know, I really want to open my own business. Yeah, but you know, it's going to take funding that I don't have. Yeah, but I don't have the time. Yeah, but I don't have the knowledge. Separate our yeah buts from actual barriers. Your yeah buts get in your way, and what the author of the book, the Pathfinder, would like to see is for you to write all those yeah buts that continually hold you back. Write them down on a sheet of paper. To name them. To figure out who they are, what they are. And then once you figure out what they are, the next time you have something that you're aspiring for, or you're trying to reach out and get, and you get this little thought in your mind, this little devil on your shoulder talking, whispering in your ear saying, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, recognize that that's what that is. That's just you trying to maintain a norm, the safety net. Forget the safety net, guys. Got to break the safety zone. Got to jump out of that safety zone in order to grow, you know. So that's where I'm at right now. This is my planning phase, you know, and I have, you don't see them here, they're actually in the truck, but I have my short-term goals and my long-term goals written down in a notepad, and I'm going to start moving towards them every day through the use of my daily planner, knocking out one notch by one notch at a time. And that's kind of my plan. Now, I need to introduce something to you, something that I'm very proud about. I hope I can wrap this up in the next couple minutes. Everybody knows that I've got a mission going on, Heavy Hitters. It's a business that I'm excited about. I haven't, truthfully, this is all true. This is all 100% with you guys right now. Truthfully, I haven't given it all I've got. I've been kind of on the sidelines, kind of dabbling, you know, thinking. I've made a few shirts. I've sold quite a bit of product. I've done this and I've done that. You know, I've posted some material with Heavy Hitters and stuff. I really haven't hit it hard. It's my bad. That's my confession. I really haven't hit it hard. Really haven't tried very hard, to tell you the honest to goodness truth. And so last night I was doing some contemplation, and I started drawing out this timeline that you've seen a few minutes ago. And I asked myself, what is your end goal, Rich? What do you truly, truly want now at this point in your life? Understand this, guys. Your goals, your end goal, your life's mission may change along your timeline. From one day to the next, it might change. And that's okay. I mean, I think that's okay. I'm no professional at this, but I think it's okay. And I think what needs to happen is you need to we all need to change with it. Be okay with those things. Set a goal, achieve those goals, sure. But if it changes, if your mind changes, it's okay. You need to be flexible, like Bruce Lee said, be like water, take the shape of the container. Be able to adapt. You need to be able to do that. That's how people survive. Being able to adapt and overcome is how people survive. Very first rule of survival, adapt and overcome. So that's a big deal. If your end goal changes or goals along the way change, be open to that. Okay, realize that, and that's a big thing on why to keep your planner. Because that's notes. Weeks and weeks back, you can go back and say, this is where I was at then. Here's where I'm at now. Here's where I want to be in the future. It's a big deal. Saying all that, I want to say this: Heavy Hitters is a very dynamic, awesome venture that I'm looking so forward to taking it to the potential that I know it has. But it's not nearly all I want to do. Not even scratching the surface of all I want to do. I have had, since I was 14 years old, I've had a mind of opening businesses. And I've opened a few businesses. I've helped other people do a few business ventures. I'm always trying to give advice, to others on what they might want to pursue. Just listening to their interests and, I totally love to do this and I totally love to do that. I find myself going home at night pondering the conversations from earlier that day with those people and wondering, how can I help them get to those goals? I do it all the time, guys. I've been doing it since I was a kid. And this is what I've realized. My end goal has changed. When I was just a young boy, probably 10, 12 years old, all I wanted to do was two things. I wanted to be a soldier and I wanted to be a fighter. Got involved with martial arts. I started fighting and competing at a young age and did very well with it. And so I kind of accomplished that, and I'm proud. And I still continue my martial arts training today, and I'm proud of that. I'm extremely proud of that. I got to be a soldier. I got to walk with some of the finest men I've ever met in my whole journey. Great dudes. I got to see the business end of an enemy's weapon, and I consider myself fortunate for those things. I'm extremely proud of doing those things. But my end goal, guys, this is a big thing for me. My end goal is to help other people be successful in life. Ultimately, that's what I want to do. Heavy Hitters is not just about me at all, not whatsoever. It's about people striving for more every day in everything that they do, just striving for more, And I realized through that business model and my own thoughts that I'm just trying to help people push for something better, something more. If they want something more, I want to help them get that. So I've decided a couple things, and it's on my timeline. I'm going to go through ICF, which is the International Coaching. What is it called? International Coaching something another. It's a coaching school. International Coaching Federation. It's a coaching school. They teach you how to become a life coach for people. That you go through the process, you dedicate hours to the trade, and I'm ecstatic. I'm going to pursue that, and I'm going to do that on top of this next big thing. This next big thing, I realize this video is long right now, but this next big thing is ideal for me. It's the main thing I want to do in my life. A while back I came up with an idea, since I wanted to launch all kinds of businesses and help other people grow and expand, and I wanted to spread wealth. I wanted to do that through, multiple levels, multiple businesses. And I have ideas all the time for businesses I think that will succeed. So what I did is I put together a a corporation idea, an umbrella corporation idea. And I called it ORI, for Oxford Rising Investments. It's my last name. Rising Investments, just, the name's good. Just keep pushing up, you know? And so I put together this plan for ORI, and basically what I want to do is I want to use my life coaching skills in order to help others reach their potential through ORI. And I want to launch one business at a time of all the ideas that I have and all the ideas that my constituents have and other people that we reach out through angel networking and things like that, angel investment and those kind of avenues. I want to build ORI and be diversified later in life, because I think it has the potential to reach so many more people than I could on just a one business venture idea. And to be quite honest, I'm just overflowing with too many ideas, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a corporation that's going to act as an umbrella corporation for individual businesses, that I'm going to bring in teams and other people to stand up these businesses. And we're all going to operate under a corporation, and when we need to sell off assets or, you know, whatever else, we'll handle it. But that's what I'm going to work on. So in the coming months, you guys will start hearing about ORI. It's going to be, like I said, the umbrella corporation. It's going to own Heavy Hitters. And my very first venture is going to be get Heavy Hitters up and running, put the team in place, make it happen. Boom, that business is good. Let's push to the next one. Let's build another one. And let's employ people. Let's get them off the streets. Let's start bringing in our combat vets, all these guys that are broken. Let's bring in a team of life coaches. Let's figure out their brokenness. Do they want off the streets? If so, boom, our door's open. Come on in. Let's talk to you for a minute, right? Get you to get out there and help people. Veterans are awesome people. You want to know why? Because they all have already demonstrated their willingness to stand the gap for somebody else. That's why I love those dudes. And I think that they'd be a great niche. You know, I think they have a great place in this world. We just got to find it. So that's kind of a big part of my heart and a big part of my goals. This video is extremely long. I'm apologetic for that, but at the same time, I'm extremely excited. Phase 2 is coming along very nicely. I've got a house, or I got a roof over my head. I'm planning a move to Auburn, California here very shortly. Just a couple hurdles I got to get through to see when exactly I can make that move. But I will definitely keep you updated, and until then, I've got a house here. My mom's house is always open to me. I've got other family. I've got other friends. They've been more than generous, very loving, very caring. I'm very excited where this project has led so far. And for those of you watching, I guarantee you're going to see Heavy Hitters up on the rise. You're going to see ORI coming up, and my next video, I'm excited about that as well. It won't be nearly this long. So stay tuned for it. Check it out. It's going to be a good one. Talk to you later.